Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to deal with one more important topic of plant morphology. And in this topic we are going to restrict on how the flowers are arranged in angiosperms. You know that in different plant species the flowers are arranged differently. Okay? And the arrangement of flowers can be either single, that means they can arise either singly or they can arise in the form of clusters. If the flowers arise singly, they occur singly. This type of arrangement is known as solitary. And depending upon whether this single flower arises in the leaf axil or it arises at the tip of the stem, two types of solitary arrangements are there: solitary axillary and solitary terminal. In solitary axillary type, the flower arises in the axil of the leaf, and the example is petunia. Okay, petunia. The second one is solitary terminal here. It arises at the tip of the stem, and the example is poppy. So now you can say that the flowers can occur either singly or they can arise in the form of clusters. If singly, their arrangement can be solitary axillary or solitary terminal. Now the second thing is, if the flowers are arranged in the form of clusters, okay, at that time this cluster of flowers is known as inflorescence. So if you have to define an inflorescence, you can simply say it is a flowering shoot or an axis which bear a cluster of flowers, and the axis, or you can say inflorescence axis, which bears a cluster of flower, this is known as peduncle in botanical terminology. One more important point that you are going to remember is, if the flowers they appear to arise directly from the main stem, this is known as cauliflowery. Here you can see a group of flowers, they arise from the main stem in the form of a cluster. Okay, this is known as cauliflowery. Now what are the different types of inflorescences found in angiosperms? There are two principal types of inflorescences in angiosperms. One is Erasmus, which is also known as indeterminate, and the second one is Cymos, which is also known as determinate inflorescence. There are other special types of inflorescences which we are going to discuss as well. Today we will restrict on the differences between Erasmus and Cymos inflorescence. First of all, let's move with Erasmus inflorescence, their distinguishing features. This is also known as indeterminate inflorescence because the main axis possesses a bud, and this bud continuously grows. It does not terminate into a flower. Here you can see the main axis, it grows continuously, and the inflorescence grows. Okay, it does not terminate into a flower. And as stated, the flowers arise laterally from the axillary buds of the bracts. These small leaves are known as bracts. Okay, in their axillus flowers arise laterally. Now the arrangement of flowers in Erasmus type of inflorescence can be of two types. First one is acropetal. In this type, the youngest flowers are placed at the apex of the inflorescence and oldest at the base. Here you can see this is the oldest flower and the younger ones are located at the apex. Okay, or it can be centripetal. In this type, the youngest flowers are located towards the center of the inflorescence. Okay, and the older ones are located at the base and apex. Okay, when we will discuss the types of inflorescence, you will come to know about the centripetal arrangement of flowers in Erasmus inflorescence. Now the second one is Cymos inflorescence or determinate inflorescence. In this type of inflorescence, the terminal bud of the inflorescence, it terminates into a flower, and that is why we say its growth is determinate, its growth is definite, it does not grow continuously. And in this type, when the main apex of the inflorescence, it terminates into a flower, okay, the further growth of the inflorescence takes place by lateral branches which arise below. Here you can see these are the lateral branches which arise below the terminal point, okay, terminal bud, and these lateral branches, they form the flowers. Here you can see they have given rise to flowers. And now the arrangement of flowers in cymose inflorescence. The arrangement of flowers in cymose inflorescence is basipetal or centrifugal, which means the outer or the basal flowers are young and the central or upper flowers are old. Here you can see these are the basal flowers, they are young, okay, they are young, and this terminal flower or upper flower, this is old, okay. This is what basipetal or centrifugal arrangement means. I'm going to repeat. In cymose type of inflorescence, the main axis, the bud of the main axis, it terminates into a flower, and further growth of inflorescence occurs by the lateral branches which give rise to flowers, okay. And the arrangement of flowers in cymose inflorescence, it is basipetal or you can say centrifugal, okay. Centrifugal or basipetal means the same thing, one and the same thing. In this arrangement, the outer or basal flowers, these are the outer flowers, okay, these are the outer, these are located towards the outside, or the basal flowers, they are young, okay, and the central, which is located in the center of the inflorescence, or the upper, because it is at the upper position, this flower is old, okay. This is all about the main characters of cymose and racemose inflorescences. In the next part, we are going to discuss the different types of racemose inflorescences. I hope you all understand this. God bless you and thank you all.